All right, we're gonna take a quick little ride in town and go check out another Oldsmobile. See what it's all about. We got trailer hooked up to the work truck, and let's see what we see.
So the trip has begun. I got down to Georgia yesterday, and I stopped and saw Rich and his wife yesterday afternoon, and there's some cool video for that. And we're gonna hang out here for a couple days, and then I have something really cool that we're gonna show you that Joe acquired. At least we think it's cool. Most people think we're nuts, because I guess we are kind of nuts. So we'll clean the trailer up, and then after that we're gonna go and show you this new thing, and you might find it interesting. All right, this is day 3 of the big trip. Day 1, I left Wednesday. Drove a few hours away, met with a very nice gentleman who's the original owner of a 69 W31, and we'll have some information on that car. Beautiful trophy blue car. And it was a great honor to be at his house with his wife, and they fed me lunch and took great care of me. Day 2, I left that location and I drove, 8 hours or more, and I went and visited with Rich, the gentleman I bought my car from, and saw he and his wife, and he was allowed to drive my car around his neighborhood that he's been in for over 20 years, but who would have thought he'd be driving his high school car around at his house that he's now retired at. Day 3, we're in Georgia, and Joe says, wait till you see what I got. You guys are gonna like this one. There he is.
We're here.
Brother Joe. You guys ready for this?
There it is.
Boom. What in the F is this?
All right, we are coming up to the house here. We'll give a little backstory on this once we see what we got. All right, the Rallye 350 is home.
Well, I'll tell you what it is. This here, my friends, is the not so distant cousin of Mr. Jones. But a car that I guess collectively we just couldn't pass up. We're gonna tell you guys about this car in detail here. Part numbers, etc. But you guessed it, what you're looking at here is a 1970 Rallye 350. It's an automatic, and it's got air conditioning. But we have some very cool information on this car. And what we've just learned, right, Joe? Yeah. We've just learned that we should be having the camera rolling all the time. Because, you guys want to see this?
Never know what you're going to find.
Never know what you're going to find, and all the pro YouTubers do it, and we are so not pro YouTubers. So we're cleaning out the inside of this car. Back seats on the other side over there, we have it. Sports steering wheel, column shift automatic. And he's hitting the car literally with a backpack leaf blower, guys, just hammering it. And I reach my bald head in here and I look. What is that? So, of course, we yelled at each other and we were all excited. And let me see if I can get under here. Now, remember, I got a nasty cut from Mr. Jones. Here it is. This is the protector plate for this car that literally we did not know that we owned. This car was locally advertised, and Joe sent me the ad, and I thought, oh my gosh, man, that's a lot of money, and we have a lot of cars. We have a lot of cars and projects, but man,
But it was worth the look.
it was worth the look.
Had to see what it was all about.
So obviously a deal was made, and here it is. And we know what we know about Rallye 350s, right? We know that just like the QBs, they were late year production, 1970 only. They only came one way aesthetically, although there's some talk. Some did not have the spoiler here, the W35 spoiler. But RPO W45 is the Rallye 350 option. The hood is W25.
Which we do not have.
We don't have the hood. W35 is the rear spoiler. They all came with Rallye wheels, painted yellow without trim rings. The bumpers are a urethane coated bumper. There's a ground strap on the rear bumper to ensure proper taillight operation. And if we can remove this thing that I so diligently put in there, there's a braided ground strap from the bumper bracket. See it, guys, right here? To the frame. That's probably one of the most telltale signs of a Rallye 350. Why else would you need to have an alternate ground to the back bumper? This car is equipped with the only open differential you could get in a Rallye 350. Therefore, it's rare. The standard rear end in a Rallye 350 is a 323. The only way you could get an open diff in a Rallye 350 is if you check no other box for an optional rear. You only got the standard rear, which is SE. You will not have T codes on these rear ends because the T codes, guys, were for 442s and W cars. The S code rears were for the basic cutlasses, and really, let's be frank, a Rallye 350 is an appearance package by design. As per Oldsmobile's explanation, it is an appearance package based on a cutlass, in this case F85 with the L74. So it has the SE open 323. SF would be a limited slip 323. And of course you get 342 and 391s. Those were only available in limited slips. So another telltale sign here is that we have an air cleaner base that, news to us, includes a grommet in the outside that only small blocks would have, along with these drain holes in the air cleaner base. Now these drain holes are for the W25 hood outside air induction RPO. Am I right? Right. That air cleaner base with those drain holes is for W25 cars. That air cleaner base with that grommet is for an W25 car with a small block. I guess, quite honestly, my expertise, if you call it that, my experience, I should say, is really on 68s and 9s. The 70 QB is a car we've learned a lot about, and of course, now this car. So I'm always open to constructive criticism. If I'm wrong on that, let me know. However, we do have that. That is a clue that this car had the W25 option. You guys recognize the small square wiper motor. Small square wiper motor is an F85 part, along with the narrow windshield trim. The wipers do not park. So the wiper arms, we have that wiper arm. Joe could show you if you guys needed to see an F85 wiper arm. Cutlass wiper arms that do park have that extra little armature on them to give them the folding feature. An F85, like the OG, has a standard wiper arm like that. Therefore, we don't need a double deep windshield trim because we don't have the park feature. The cal tag here reads, this is interesting. The cal tag reads 33277. That means F85. LAN, we all know, means Lansing, Michigan. Let's get closer. 33277 LAN. The body number, as per Body by Fisher, this is their identification on it, right? 337000. Trim 900, black vinyl bench. You guys can obviously see that that is an F85 upholstery setup. Here's where we get to have fun. 01A, first week of January. Now, the bulletin came out, I believe it was February 18th or something, that the Rallye 350 package was coming out. But obviously they didn't release the memo that this car was coming out without having some cars built. So we know there's definitely some 01Bs, and there actually have been another 01A. I think we found, subsequently, we have found a 12D that's been a confirmed car. I don't know of that. I don't know that car. I know of that car. We know of that car.
Right.
B90 is the stainless bright work on a post. Joe's QB has it. The OG, my W31 F85 has it, and this one has it. So coincidentally, we have 3 post cars. They all have B90. Come look at this if we can. See the paint code here? Can you guys, Joe's gonna get you in on that. All Rallye 350s were Sebring yellow. That's it. Like Henry Ford's Model T, you can have any color you want as long as it's Sebring yellow. Sebring yellow was a special order paint color. So what you'll often see is 2 dash marks telling you that this cal tag belonged to a car that was receiving a special order paint color. 2 dashes does not mean 5151. 2 dashes means special order color. 51 is ironclad Sebring yellow. You can tell, because Joe just showed you, the normal stamping on this cal tag is not consistent with the 51. The 51 is almost, right, Joe? It's almost like,
It's like flat.
yeah,
It always has
really,
like a little
really
outline
low
on there.
I mean, initially, you didn't even think you saw.
Because you couldn't see like the black paint that was over it. It just covered it up. And
Yeah.
once you just wipe that away a little bit, it's
Man,
just so flat.
Man, even here, man.
It's hard to see in the sun.
Yeah, no, but it's there. 5151. All Rallye 350s came with the sport steering wheel. We have that. All Rallye 350s came with the Rallye mirrors. We have those. They came with the body color wheels. Hey, listen, 1970, the Rallye wheels were still gray. 71 and 2 had body color Rallye wheels. So 70s should not have body color Rallye wheels, except for the Rallye 350. And we have 5 of those yellow wheels. Finally, we have a car with some firewall stamps. I don't know what those mean. NBB, I don't know, but they're there. We have one 1970 Fender. 1970 to 72 look the same and are interchangeable. Most everybody knows this fact. 1971, Oldsmobile was mandated to have crumple zones in their fenders. So 71 and 2 fenders look like this. 70, technically 1 year only, without the crumple zones. The VIN number on this block matches the VIN number on the car. It's a standard L74 354 barrel. You will have a 7040250, 7040250. That's the standard Rochester Quadrajet. If you had a QB, i.e. if you had a stick shift Rallye 350 with an L74, only way to get it, you'd have a 7040253. This has the 250. 6 heads, that's just 1970 L74 and standard 2-barrel 350s all had number 6 heads. Really nothing special about the engine. The only time you get a special engine in a Rallye 350 is if you had a stick shift and you got the QB coated, like Joe's other 70, you got the QB coated 350. There's those old reports we've heard of some dozen or so W31 Rallye 350s. I don't believe any of that. You know, there were Sebring yellow W31s. You'll get chrome bumpers. These were not great sellers. These were not great sellers. These were built on spec in Lansing. Sometimes they were ordered, I guess, but Oldsmobile was just making these. And a lot of dealerships had a hard time liquidating this asset. So a lot of times you'll see that there's cases where Rallye 350s did in fact get chrome bumpers. And then those urethane coated bumpers would have been put in the parts room. Oftentimes the wheels received trim rings so that it looked a little dressier. But remember, the name of the game of this car was to provide a performance appearance package to people who wanted a mid-size Oldsmobile. It really wasn't meant to compete performance-wise with the W31 or the W30s or things like that. However, it did come with disc brakes, power disc brakes. It did come with the FE2 suspension, which included the rear anti-sway bar. This car has it. All Rallye 350s said Cutlass on the fenders. It's confusing, I understand. Oldsmobile likes to confuse people. The cowl tag will tell you it's an F85. The only other thing that you'll see that has the F85 nomenclature on it is the glove compartment door will say F85. Notice how it's different than 69. It has literally F85. 69 was the last year that F85 was spelled out. You know, it's my opinion that Oldsmobile made a lot of these on the F85 because it was supposed to be the base car. So they used the F85. And just to make them all look the same, they received Cutlass emblems. I believe I read that if it was an actual Cutlass, it would say Cutlass on the fenders and Cutlass on the trunk, right, Joe?
Right.
And if it was an F85, it says Cutlass on the fenders,
Oldsmobile
F85,
on the
and then Oldsmobile
on the trunk. Yeah.
We don't have the trunk lid. We don't have the hood. We don't have the radiator support, and we don't have the rest of the W25 kit. This car was bought through an estate. Unfortunately, the original owner has passed, so we have to take the good with the bad. But believe me, there's plenty of good. There's also a lot of bad reminiscent of the Mr. Jones car. Lots of rot around the rear window. Package tray's better. Trunk is better. Better to the point of being able to be saved. Not so sure. The car's been repainted. And under here, we definitely can determine that the original colors here. But like Joe has pointed out to me, remember, I saw this car only over the phone, right? I mean, you've had this for a little while.
Right.
But I haven't been able to get down here.
Looked for stripes, sent you pictures.
This is
any kind of.
I think you're right. This is obviously signs that there was a stripe here.
Yep.
And where was the other part you saw on the other side?
On the other side, it has a little bit of a outline, or at least.
Oh yeah, no, right here, here.
Where Rallye 350 would be.
Definitely see that there's some sort of literary evidence here. Something was underneath this paint. It certainly is about the dimension of a Rallye 350 sticker.
Right, and kind of at the same level from the bumper on the body.
Yeah, this is. Oh, and here's the other clue, Joe. Right here, right?
Yeah,
this line.
Yeah.
This
and
other line that comes up the body here like this.
Yep.
So when the car was repainted, it was repainted without the Rallye 350 stickers. It was repainted without the graphic up the side. Another poor paint job. I don't know what these people were thinking back then. Mr. Jones and this poor thing has just received, I don't know, like a rattle can paint job. It looks like they didn't even scuff the original paint. So odd. But the roof on this is not smashed up.
Also, the remnant of the stripe on the passenger door, I think.
Oh, right.
I think where it wrapped
Yeah, because this door.
around.
Let me see. Let me close this door. Let me pull up the door stop here.
It had a section
Right here. Right here. Yep. Yeah. Look at that.
There's a little bit of black and
Yep.
white remnant.
So a stripe was there. At least it appears as though a stripe. The VIN number on this car. Look, we're gonna open a dialogue here. You know, we're getting some comments. People are watching. What are we saying? Are we saying that out of the known documented cars, there's a chance that this car, while not being the number one Rallye 350, there's a chance that this car could in fact be the number two Rallye 350 build? Which would mean that the only one preceding it, I'm not saying this is the case and I'm not challenging anyone. I'm inviting anyone who has a car like this that is of a 12D or a 01A production. Let's open a communication here, because I guess we can almost put in another category the 01Bs and Cs and Ds. Those are the second, third, fourth week of January. While still cool cars, they're not in contention for being really, really early built cars. I think if you looked at the calendar, Joe, what were you saying? That 12D was a couple days. That was between Christmas and New Year's.
Right, when we looked back to 1969 and 1970, it was almost like the same week.
Right.
This car and that would have been 12D and 01A.
Right.
So not a whole lot of time in between.
So I guess what we want to do is maybe we want to just say, if you know anyone, that's a cardinal in the tree, Joe. That's a whole nother topic for another day. That's pretty cool. If you, our dad liked cardinals. That was his favorite bird, so that's pretty slick. If you have a 12D, if you have an 01A, drop a line. Let's talk about that. Let's see. I don't know, Joe. I don't want to go rooting in there for the owner's manual, but I want to see if there's more stuff in here. Let's see if another 12D comes up. That would knock us out automatically. If there's a 12D that we know about, if another 12D comes up, we're out of contention. If there's another 01A, and the VIN, we start talking about VIN numbers. The original lineup was thought to be 239000 up to the 327,000.
And it is earlier.
This car is pre-239. So 33270M236. Okay, we'll go with that. 236 is what this car has as the first three of the last six. So let's talk about who's got something around there. Would be cool to know, to determine whether this car is a candidate for surgery or not. Oh, you're gonna have yellow bumpers, and even though it's a Cutlass and not a 442, ironically, unlike the W31, the Rallye 350s did have a 442 bumper. So this has the cutout bumper. W31s did not. So kind of going back to the QB dialogue that we've had a couple months ago. Maybe some of the confusion, like I said, when people said my Rallye 350 had a W31 engine and my cousin's Rallye 350 did not. Well, if your Rallye 350 had a stick shift, right? Basic logic would imply that that car then had the QB engine code, which had that, you know, different cam. 3,547 Rallye 350s. 1,020 of them were F85s. 160 were Cutlass S posts. So this is not one of the 160. It looks like it because it says Cutlass and it's a post, but it's an F85 33277. It's an F85, so that makes it one of the 1,020. We don't know how many were sticks. We don't know how many were automatics. Just don't know. So the most we can narrow it down is that it's one of 1,020. Unless we can do the math and eliminate the stick shift. But it's the least exciting Rallye 350 you can get. It's an automatic on the column, which again was the standard shifter location. Automatic on the column with air conditioning and an open 323. But the story goes that the original owner was a local businessman and bought it for his son. Bought it for his son as his first car, right? Right. And that gentleman kept the car for literally his entire life. And I guess they attempted some sort of facsimile of a restoration here, and this is where they ended it. So, okay, I guess that's enough for now. We can delve into more stuff later on. Oh, it has the color-coded brake drums. That's a special option.